Boy, if we just let that advice be love us, we'd be in good shape. That's being brave and being bold, because so many times we have conversations in our own mind of not enoughness, enough, something like that, and to just be still and allow ourselves to be loved by the divine is the whole talk. But I'll expound, because
but you're not on right now.
Am I?
The connection.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make today. So the topic is be bold and be brave. And these times require boldness and braveness. We're all looking at the news disheartened, looking at everything that's going on in the world and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't take another minute of it. We have war fatigue, we have COVID fatigue. And there's something that's moving in the world right now that's requiring us to be bold and be brave. When we look at the Ukrainians, I mean, we have to be inspired that in the midst of any circumstance or condition that's before us, we have choices. And they're choosing to show us what it means to be bold and to be brave. This morning I wanted to talk about the activities, the exercises of being bold and brave in a spiritual way. I want to talk about what it means to have a vision, to understand where we are, and to live that vision. To have a vision, I just want to start with the brighter the light, the bigger the shadow. You really have to hold that. We are looking at the shadow right now. It's on our news, it's everywhere that we see. The shadow is before us. But we have to understand with the shadow there is a great light. And we're also experiencing the light. But the shadow can be so penetrating that we forget the light is there. I've been really trying to understand what's going on and what's happening, and I turned to Deepak Chopra, who is one of our very enlightened teachers, and I want to read something from a book he wrote about the shadow, because we're looking at the big shadow, but he's also addressing the light. He says, our potential for change isn't far away. Potential is the same as unseen possibilities. Either you see something as possible or you don't. So the impossible is just another name for the unseen. Thus, the shadow, which makes you see a limited, fearful world full of threat and dark possibilities, is making many unseen possibilities that could spring into your awareness of expansion beyond the shadow. Without expansion, you are forced to have a narrow vision. So without expansion, our vision can shrink if we stay too much in the shadow and we forget to look at the light. I read that fear is anticipated pain. That really works with me. Fear is anticipated pain. So, yeah, you're looking at something and we're expecting the worst. And our fear comes up. And as spiritual beings, we're calling ourselves to another experience. We know that we have some way that we're participating in this, and we're calling ourselves to look at possibilities, to think right now in the midst of everything that's going on, in the midst of our broken hearts, in the midst of all of these tragedies we're seeing. We're also seeing a cello player sitting in the midst of the ruins in the Ukraine and bringing beautiful music. I don't know if anyone has seen that on TV. It's so heart-moving. And they interviewed him and asked him, why are you doing this? And he said, because he sees the beauty. He knows that a resurrection is coming. that it's a crucifixion, but something is coming that's beyond that, that the light is coming. And he just sits there and plays. It was quite astounding. So it reminded me of where we are and how we have to hold the possibilities, how we have to play our music, how we have to see that in the midst of everything, beauty, grace, God is always present. It's been part of our experience, part of our conversation, part of our spiritual dynamic. When we say God is where we are, present here. And when you look at the world, you can think, well, where is God? God is still here. God's not creating the war, people are. So we're moving to change our vision. So understanding where we are, we're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is within us. It's at hand. This is the vision that we were given. The Vedas, the Hindu Vedas says, you are in the world, you're in the world, and the world is in you. And I really started working with that this week. The world is in me. And what does that mean? It means that inside of us is that very spark of the divine. It means that we are affected by the world, but also we affect the world. We're also affecting everything we see by the consciousness we hold, the prayers we say, by looking at fear and saying, no, I'm going into another possibility, that peace, unity, oneness can evolve, because we're at the crossroads saying, do we want to keep doing this? Do we want to keep doing this, really? And we're seeing it in the big screen. We're seeing it in the time we're living right now. We're asking ourselves, do we want more of this? The piece that we don't talk about is, how are we going to get out of this? How are we going to change this? And we know, as religious scientists, the way it changes is with consciousness. We have to hold a different thought. We can't solve the problem at the level we created the problem. We have to have a vision, something different. So we understand we're making possibly an evolutionary leap. When evolution happens, it goes in leaps. We stay at this level, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're standing upright. We're like this, we're upright. It happens. And so right now, the crossroads we're at, the places that we find ourselves, is calling, it's a call to us. We really do believe the spiritual leaders we have pictures of them in our sanctuary here, because we hold the vision that with God, all things are possible. All things are possible. And that's the vision that I'm asking all of us to hold this week, and as we continue to watch what's unfolding, to send our prayers, to know that right now we're being bold and we're being brave by not getting so engrossed in the shadow that we can't see the light. It's here. The light is in each and every one of us, and every one of us have the power to make a difference, because the world is in us. We have been praying for 2,000 years, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. On earth, that's the prayer. It's been in the background of our social life. It's been in the background of our spiritual life. And it's starting to download now, because we have the opportunity to say no more. We're ready to take that leap in consciousness to understand there's one life, and it is our life, and we can decide how to live that life. That's the fight for freedom, the freedom to choose your thought, the freedom to have the consciousness to say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Translate this to your personal life. What in your own life do you have to say, no more? I am free to choose something else. I'm free to move in a different direction. I'm free to liberate myself from the limitations I've been holding myself in. This is the call of our times. No one gets out of this. We're all in it together, and we're all called at this moment in history to make that leap, to make that change, but we can't do it collectively if we don't do it personally. It's like asking somebody to do something, but you know you'd never do it. Just doesn't work well. So taking that evolutionary leap, we have been in that process for a long time. And now the plant does bloom, and we're in the blooming stage. And each of us, every single one of us matter. Every single thought counts. Every single act of love counts. Every moment you are willing to change your own idea about who we are and about who other people may be. So, and then living the vision. Now, tonight is the Academy Awards. I love Southern California. I'm as close to Hollywood as I can ever get. It's a fabulous place. And why I appreciate it is because our life is made up of stories. And so the Academy Awards are stories of our lives that are well presented, that take us into the drama and move us in ways that we didn't expect. Now, I never really knew a lot about filmmaking and all of that. I lived in Seattle and then moved to Napa, but never as close to the film industry and the makings of films. But I was on a set, a movie set, kind of coincidentally, so to speak, and Ellen Burstyn was the actress who was on this set the time I was there. And she, if you know Ellen Burstyn, she's a fabulous actress, and the movie was Twice in a Lifetime. And Ellen was getting a message that her husband was seeing someone else. And she's at the set, and somebody tells her that, and she goes into this drama. She's shocked. She doesn't know what to do. I mean, everyone in the room watching her believed this actually happened to her. That's how good an actress she was. We were like, oh. And in the middle of that, the director comes in and he says, cut. And he starts telling her, no, I think you should do it like this and that. She says, okay. She goes to a back room where she had the green room, so to speak. She went back there and she gets herself organized and she comes back and she does the scene again. And she does it with such passion and such disappointment. We're breathless. And the director again says, cut. And we're shocked because it looks so great. But when he said the second cut, she stood up for herself and said, I know that character. And I have to do that character like I know it. This is the right way to do it. And I looked at her, and everything in me knew at that moment, we're always negotiating the character we're acting. We always have choice. We walked onto the stage. If you walked onto a family of poverty, of wealth, whatever, you walked into a play. But who you are as a character, you get to navigate. You get to say who you are. You get to play your part the way you want to play your part. And the way you play your part changes the movie or the play you're in. Because when she owned her character and did it the way she needed to do it, all of a sudden the whole place changed because people had a different sense of the depth of her pain and responded differently. It was an amazing experience. So I love the Academy Awards for all of these things. I truly do believe we are in a story. We're writing it, we're directing it, we're acting in it, and we have agency in it. We have things that we can do in it. Think of the character. If you're playing Oh Poor Me, get some vision. If illness is up there, get a vision of health. Write it into the script. If it's financial issues, write it in, prosperity into the script. In the global movie we're in, let's write peace into the script. Let's write love into the script. Let's write goodness into the script, compassion, generosity. Are you ready to do that? Yes. You are? Yes. You really are? Yes. Okay, take a breath. Just take a breath, because Because of your enthusiasm, I am presenting this church with your Academy Award. May you receive this award for your vision and your willingness, and may your movie be one of a happy ending. Thank you so much.